Hey, what's up, guys? For the past few weeks, we have been studying the life of Jesus. We saw how he was born, the signs and wonders he performed, how he taught us to live and pray. But more than being the greatest miracle worker or teacher or leader the earth has ever known, Jesus' main mission was to die for us so that we can be one with God. He died and rose again so that we can have the tight relationship with God the Father that He, Jesus the Son, has. This is what it means to be born again, when we believe and receive what Jesus did for us and ask Him to lead our lives. You may be asking, what does that being born again look like? It looks like change. It looks like transformation. It looks like the fruit of the Spirit. So you all remember the 9 fruit of the Spirit? Okay, if you do, say them with me. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. But don't take my word for it. Listen to Letitia Wright's story. Maybe you recognize Letitia as Princess Suri from Black Panther. She was Black Panther's sister. But more than being a talented actress, she's a born-again believer. Let's listen to her sharing her testimony recently with Pastor Michael Todd.
Wow, that is amazing. And let me put a bow on that. I say this all the time. God blesses who you really are, not who you pretend to be. And too many of us in this generation are pretending to be somebody that we're not, but God is looking for that authenticity. So Letitia, let me throw it to you real quick. Now, we got an opportunity to connect because Letitia's Transformation Nation too, all the way in London. So I went to speak. That's crazy. We went to speak. We all met the same night. Because I went to speak in London, Sadie was there, we had a moment, and then Letitia took us to eat in like the bad part of London at like 2 a.m. and they were about to shut it down and she was like, Wakanda forever, and they let us, I'm serious, true story. They let us, did they not let us eat?
That was true.
Okay, that's true. But I want to talk to you about, you were at a low point. I want to just make this real, that representing God and doing these things is not easy. It's not something that you wake up every morning, it's like, oh, I'm about to go and I'm about to represent, I'm about to go and perform, I'm about to go and post a new video, I'm about to go and make laws and policies. There like comes moments where you feel like, I don't even want to do this anymore. And I want you to talk to us about that moment where you were done with acting. And what God did in you that led you to this thing that now the world knows you for. But there was a real moment where you had to surrender to God so that He could allow your next version to come up. Talk to us about that.
So I wasn't always a Christian, and I went through a period in my life when acting was my God, and I really worshipped it. I really wanted to be successful. I would compare myself to my other friends. I would look at my past films and be hard on myself, and it was just really, really dark. On top of that, not being happy about myself and who I was, and I knew something was wrong. So it was 2015 and I had just went to Toronto Film Festival with a film, and I had another film lined up, and I remember I was going to Canada, and I remember I just heard this voice. It was just like, this is the last, you're gonna take a break, a big break after this. And I was like, no, I'm not. I got films, I got jobs, I'm lined up, I'm good. But that voice was really true. And I came home and I kind of just realized that something was missing. And I didn't know what it was, but I had to find out. And I remember at the time, some of my friends were Christians, and I always would hang out with them and I'd see their light. And it's not no airy-fairy thing like, Jesus! No, it was literally like peace and joy and serenity. And I noticed that they had something that I didn't have, but I was too scared to approach it because I believed that Jesus was this you know, no offense, this is what I thought in my mind. Jesus was a white guy with blonde hair, blue eyes, how can he relate to me? And it was so warped in my mind, like it was not correct, my approach to Jesus. And I remember I just started to seek. And he would just literally line me up with friends. Like my friends would meet me who were Christians and be like, do you want to go Bible study? And they would never ask me this, and I'd be like, yes. And I'd be like, why did I say that? I don't even know like what the Bible is. I don't even know what chapter to turn to. I don't even know like how do you do that? And then I just realized that something was missing, and I started to seek, and Jesus was my last hope. And I remember my friend called me. He plays the new version of Kunta Kinte in Roots, Malachi Kirby. And one day I was in a dark room. Literally, I had this pattern because my depression was so deep. I had this pattern of putting myself in a dark room. And he called me, and he was on his way to South Africa. And he said, something's not right. And God told me to call you. And I burst out crying. And he was like, yeah, like something's not right. Like I don't feel that you're in the right place. And I confessed, and I was like, I'm not happy, and I don't know what to do. And he said to me, well, there's Jesus. And I was so honest. I was like, bro, how do I relate to this Jesus you talk of? Like, I don't think that's for me. And he was just like, at least try. He's like, I tried, and he helped me. So he gave me, he said, I'm gonna give you Matthew 6:33. And then he said that I should seek first the kingdom and his righteousness. And righteousness, and all shall be added on. And I took it, and I turned off my phone. He went on his flight, and I said, Jesus, like, if you're real, then show me. And then I stopped acting. I gave it up. I said, I never want to do it again. And then I gave my life to him, and I cry at home too. It happens all the time. Like, I reflect and I just always cry. Like, I always cry about it. But I gave my life to him. I remember I told him in that room when I came off the phone, I said, I'm gonna give you a year, and he literally changed it in a month. And he showed up, and I had all of these amazing encounters, and I gave my life to him. And I remember the night I gave my life to him, I literally felt like whatever spirits, like darkness was leaving me, and his whole...
She said he swapped it. He took what was dark and he gave her what was light. He took depression and he gave her joy. He took pain and he gave her peace.
He swapped it. I felt it. I was on my knees in the middle of the road, and my hands was up, and I literally, like, I gave my life, and then I ran out of the church with my friend. I was like, I feel like running, so I run on literally, like, this thing just lifted up, and I literally screamed, and I felt this other thing, Holy Spirit. And after that, I'm telling you, the peace that I had, the joy that I had, I literally was like, I'm never going back to acting, and I kept praying and I kept going to church. And then one day in like January, he was just like, I want you to go back. I was praying in my room. And he was like, I want you to go back. And I said, I don't want to go back because I don't want to be, you know, like when Moses said, like, if you're not going, I don't want to go. So I was like, if you're not going to go, I'm not going. And he said that I can trust you now. So in 2016, I went back into acting. I called my agent and I was like, she's like, are you coming out of retirement? I was like, yeah. But I just trusted the Lord. I trusted the Lord. I trusted that he had my back and that I wasn't gonna leave him. I was gonna stay with him. So I stayed with him, and every single job from that point was amazing. I found myself working with Steven Spielberg. I found myself working with Liam Neeson, and I thought that was it. And I was so content. I promise you, I was so content. I was like, God, I'm ready to have Jesus time now, right? You know about the Jesus time. And after this, then I was on set finishing up a project in London, and this audition came for Black Panther, and I did it. And I did the audition, and then I forgot about it. And then every day after I sent the tape, he kept saying to me, pray about Black Panther. And I was like, why are you telling me to pray about this? Like, I did the tape, I've let it go, that's it, Lord. Like, I'm not gonna stress it. I'm not worshiping acting anymore. Like, it's cool. But he was just like, pray about it, please. And I was just like, yeah, he's so sweet.
Come on, please, pray to me about what I'm trying to do.
He's so sweet. And he was like, pray about it. And I prayed about it. I was like, all right, Lord, like, I give Black Panther to you. Like, I keep giving it to you, Lord. And then one day in prayer, he revealed to me what he wanted to do. And he said, I'm gonna give you the role. And I said, Lord, I've not heard anything. Like, no one's called me back. He was just like, I'm gonna give you a couple signs. He said, someone's gonna call you to go to LA. And then he gave me like information about the contract.
Wow.
And then I was like, all right, Lord, like, whatever you're trying to do in it, like, cool. And then literally like a month later, my agent at the time called me and said, Black Panther, the team wants to see you in LA. Wow. And then he started to go through the details of the contract, and one of the signs came true. And then, and then I went and met everybody. I left again. I was just like, God, if you don't want me to have it, it's okay. If this was like a little faith step thing, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. But then before I went to LA, he said to me, he said, I'm giving you the role of Shuri. So I was like, what? Like, I haven't even met Ryan. I haven't even met anyone yet. And he said, tell your agent that you've got the role. Don't get on the plane before you do. So this is, I got the keys. That's a crazy
thing. That's a crazy thing. Anybody in the room dealing with some crazy thing right now? Okay.
Basically what I mean is that I get you. Like talking things into existence, like I get you. So God was like telling me to speak it. So I'm in front of my agent right now, about to get on a plane to LA tomorrow without confirmation. And I say to him, I have to tell you something, and I'm like, the Lord told me that I'm coming off the plane with the role of Shuri in Black Panther, and he's like, he's Nigerian too, right? Yeah, man, have Nigerians in your team, oh. So, listen, they are legit. I love my brother Femi, I love him so much. So he sat there, he looked at me, and he was just like, you got the role then? And he was just like, if God told you, then that's it.
And she didn't only do Black Panther 1, but Black Panther 2 is on the way right now. I could sit here and do this all day. Because I think the Bible says that we should be living epistles, read of men. When I hear the stories of the people that are on this stage, this preaches more than Malachi 4. It's Toby 1. It's Sadie 5. It's Kevin 6. Like, I need you to see that the reason why you have to go out of this place and represent because some people will never pick up a Bible.
Yeah.
But they will read the life of Letitia Ford.
Yeah.
They will see her in Black Panther and feel the light coming off of her and say, there's something about her, and follow her on Instagram. And then when she uses that platform to glorify God, when the governor is making policies that give God glory, when Toby and Fat are holding up a marriage and saying, nah, we're going on tour and we're bringing our kids with us. We're not going to be successful and set them over here, but we're going to build our family around this. When Sadie is about to get married, right? If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. And they're gonna live their life in front of people. This is what we are called to do as believers, to represent. As we close this conversation, I just want to hear from all of y'all, just like a 2-minute. For those of you, or those people in this room that were like you at your version 1, I want you to think about when nobody was playing your music. I want you to think about when nobody was following you on Instagram. I want you to think about when you first told your wife, like, I think I'm gonna run for governor, or even go back further than that, when you were starting your business. I want you to think about a version 1 of yourself. Because there's somebody in this audience that can identify with the version of you that didn't have any influence, didn't have any control, was doubting if you were even special. Could you just encourage us with at least one thing that would help somebody who's feeling like giving up, who's feeling like this version, I might as well conform?
Everything that everybody just said is like a perfect foundation, and something that God has really been teaching me where I am in my life right now is just intimacy with Him. So everything that we all just said and everything we've been learning today and what I can leave with you is what I'm going through right now and experiencing is intimacy. None of this can happen without first having intimacy with the Father. Like, He's so amazing. His love is so deep. There's so much more. And let's get serious. There's something you said yesterday. It was so amazing, but you left us in prayer and you said for us to be to guard our purity, to really love the Lord. And I think that's so important. That should be the number one thing. Intimacy, going after God with everything. Let's just be for Him. I know it's not easy, I know it's not just a click of the finger thing, but every day let's just seek the Father and the Father alone, and everything will manifest. Everything will come together. So intimacy.
Oh, I love it when she said He swapped it. Jesus swaps everything harmful and destructive in our lives. If we choose to give it to Him, that means every destructive habit or every harmful attitude, we can give that to Him. Your phenomenal small group leader has some great discussion questions right now. A couple of things. Agape, your church is a safe space for us to grow into all that God has for us. So let's be honest, let's ask questions, and let's encourage one another. Remember, every Christian, that means you, has testimony. What's yours? Or what's the testimony of the person sitting next to you? And if you don't think you have one as yet, what will your testimony be?